Good afternoon, citizens of Alberta. My name is Sarah Black, and I serve as your Alberta Territorial Chief Minister. Today marks a pivotal moment in our province's history, as we announce the successful passage of Bill C-63, a landmark piece of legislation designed to uphold the rights and dignity of Muslim communities across Alberta. This law, which will come into effect on January 1, 2026, following a brief pause for the winter holidays, is a clear and unequivocal message that discrimination against Muslims in any form, whether in workplaces, schools, places of worship, or public spaces, will not be tolerated in our province. Our government recognizes that freedom of religion and the right to live without fear of prejudice are foundational to a just and equitable society. Bill C-63 will extend legal protections to ensure that Alberta's Muslim residents can practice their faith openly and safely, shielded from harassment, exclusion, or systemic bias. This is not just a legislative achievement, it is a moral imperative. A clear rejection of intolerance. While our government celebrates this progress, we must acknowledge the regrettable opposition from the Alberta Progressive Party, which voted against Bill C-63. To suggest that our coalition represents a hostile stance toward Muslims is not only false, but an affront to the values we hold dear. Our record speaks for itself. We have consistently championed inclusive policies, invested in interfaith initiatives, and worked closely with religious leaders and advocacy groups to foster a culture of respect across Alberta. The Alberta Progressive Party's stance, in contrast, has left us deeply concerned. By opposing this bill, they have revealed a troubling disconnect from the lived realities of our Muslim communities and the broader principles of equality that define our province. As Chief Minister, I urge them to reflect on this moment and to reconsider their position before future measures are required to ensure accountability. Standing in solidarity with global Muslim communities. Our commitment to religious freedom is not limited to Alberta's borders. We stand in resolute opposition to the policies of the Quebec provincial government under Premier François Legault, whose legislation has drawn widespread criticism for its discriminatory impact. By banning religious symbols in public institutions and restricting the practice of Islam in schools and workplaces, Quebec has created a climate of exclusion that stands in stark contrast to the universal human rights we uphold. This is not merely a provincial issue, it is a matter of global significance. In an era where religiously motivated violence and prejudice persist, jurisdictions that criminalize faith or suppress cultural identity only embolden intolerance. Alberta rejects these approaches outright. To the Muslim communities in Quebec, we extend a message of solidarity and an open invitation. Alberta is a home where you can worship freely, express your identity without fear, and contribute to a thriving, inclusive society. Our government will support the relocation of anyone facing persecution, ensuring they find refuge in a province that values their rights and humanity. Comprehensive protections and security measures. Bill C-63 is not just about legal frameworks, it is about tangible, real-world protections. Starting January 2026, our government will implement a robust set of security measures to safeguard Muslim communities across Alberta. Religious freedom is not a privilege but a right inherent to human dignity. As codified in international charters and enshrined in Canada's Charter of Rights and Freedoms, the ability to practice one's faith without fear of reprisal is foundational to a just society. Yet, for Alberta's Muslim residents, this ideal has too often been undermined by societal prejudice and institutional neglect. From the post-9/11 surge in Islamophobic rhetoric to the marginalization of halal dietary needs in public institutions, systemic barriers have persisted. These challenges are not abstract, they manifest in the daily lives of individuals denied equal access to education, employment, and public services, or in the quiet anxiety of parents fearing their children will face bullying for wearing a hijab or practicing prayer at school. Bill C-63 confronts these realities head-on. The bill's provisions are rooted in three core principles: protection, prevention, and participation. It strengthens existing anti-discrimination frameworks by explicitly addressing religiously motivated harassment in workplaces, schools, and public spaces. It mandates training for public servants, law enforcement, and educators to recognize and mitigate bias. Importantly, it establishes clear pathways for individuals to report violations of religious rights, ensuring that legal recourse is accessible and effective. These measures are not reactive but proactive, signaling a shift from mere tolerance to genuine inclusion. The need for such legislation is evidenced not only in isolated incidents, but in entrenched patterns of systemic bias. Studies have shown that Alberta's Muslim population faces disproportionately higher rates of discrimination in housing and employment compared to other religious groups. While our focus remains on the immediate needs of Alberta, our commitment to religious freedom transcends provincial borders. We stand in firm opposition to the policies of Quebec's government under Premier François Legault, whose Bill 21, a law banning religious symbols in public sector jobs, has drawn international condemnation for its discriminatory impact on Muslim, Indigenous, and other religious communities. By criminalizing the wearing of hijabs, turbans, and other faith-based attire in public institutions, this legislation has created a climate of exclusion that contradicts the universal human rights enshrined in international law. Alberta rejects such approaches outright. We recognize that faith is not just a private conviction but a cornerstone of identity, community, and cultural heritage. To the Muslim communities in Quebec, we extend a message of solidarity: you are not alone. Alberta is a province that values your humanity, your traditions, and your contributions. We are prepared to support the relocation of anyone facing persecution, ensuring that they find refuge here, a place where worship is free, identity is celebrated, and dignity is non-negotiable. This is not merely a provincial issue, it is a global imperative. In an era where religiously motivated violence and prejudice persist, whether in the form of anti-Muslim hate crimes in North America, the persecution of Uyghur Muslims in China, or the ongoing crisis in Myanmar, we must be unwavering in our defense of religious pluralism. Governments that suppress faith or criminalize cultural identity do not merely violate rights, they embolden intolerance. Alberta will never be one of those governments. Partnerships with faith-based organizations. By 2025, we will establish the Alberta Interfaith Security Network, a coalition of mosques, temples, churches, and advocacy groups that will monitor, report, and respond to incidents of discrimination. Dedicated legal aid. The Alberta Muslim Rights Initiative, a pilot program funded by $15 million annually, will offer free legal assistance to individuals facing discrimination in education, employment, or public services. Mosque and Place of Worship Safety Grants. A $20 million fund will provide financial support for security upgrades at religious sites, including surveillance systems and emergency response planning. These measures are not merely reactive, they are proactive steps to build a society where all Albertans feel secure in who they are. They are a rebuttal to the baseless claim that protecting Muslim rights undermines broader societal interests. We know better. It is the suppression of these rights that erodes trust and fuels division. A call to reimagine unity. As we move forward, Alberta must remain vigilant against forces that seek to divide us. The opposition to Bill C-63 by the Alberta Progressive Party is a stark reminder of how easily privilege and political inertia can obscure the moral clarity we all must embrace. Yet, let us not lose sight of the progress we have made. Today, our mosques are not just places of worship but beacons of education and cultural exchange. Muslim youth in Alberta are excelling as scientists, artists, and community leaders, carrying forward a legacy of resilience and innovation. To the Alberta Progressive Party, I issue this challenge: reconsider your stance. Engage in meaningful dialogue with the communities you claim to represent. The strength of our province lies not in division, but in our shared commitment to justice. And to all Albertans, regardless of faith or background, we are your home. Together, we will continue to build a province and a world where no one has to choose between their identity and their safety. In the end, the test of a society is not in the laws it writes but in the lives it protects. Alberta is choosing to protect its most sacred asset, the dignity of every human being. As the fall legislative session draws to a close, officially adjourning on Wednesday, December 17, 2025, for a well-deserved winter recess, it is with great pride that I reflect on the numerous accomplishments of our government. Over the past few months, we have demonstrated our unwavering commitment to action, achieving significant milestones that will have a lasting impact on the lives of Albertans. From pioneering policies to groundbreaking agreements, our government has prioritized the well-being and prosperity of our citizens, cementing Alberta's position as a leader in innovation, inclusivity, and opportunity. One of the most notable achievements of this session is the introduction of the 4-day workweek initiative. This forward-thinking policy allows for flexible work schedules, enabling employees to strike a better balance between their personal and professional lives. By reducing the standard workweek from 5 to 4 days, we aim to improve work-life balance, boost productivity, and mitigate the effects of burnout. This initiative is a testament to our government's dedication to supporting the mental and physical health of Albertans, recognizing that a happy and healthy workforce is the backbone of a thriving economy. In addition to this groundbreaking policy, our government has also made significant strides in the realm of energy partnerships. We have entered into historic agreements with neighboring provinces, including Ontario and Quebec on electric vehicle infrastructure, British Columbia on solar energy development, and the Atlantic provinces on liquid natural gas projects. These partnerships will not only position Alberta as a leader in sustainable energy, but also create a staggering $10 billion in job opportunities across the province by 2026. This influx of investment and innovation will have a profound impact on our economy, driving growth, and establishing Alberta as a hub for clean energy and technology. Another notable achievement of this session is the passage of the fall territorial budget. This bold investment plan allocates resources to critical areas such as healthcare, education, and infrastructure, laying the groundwork for economic resilience and long-term prosperity. By investing in these key sectors, we are ensuring that our province is well equipped to meet the challenges of the future, providing Albertans with access to quality healthcare, education, and infrastructure that will support their well-being and success. As we approach the winter break, it is essential to acknowledge that our government's work is far from over. We will return to the Legislative Assembly on January 14, 2026, with renewed vigor and a steadfast commitment to advancing our agenda. We will continue to prioritize the needs of Albertans, working tirelessly to solidify our province's position as a beacon of inclusivity, innovation, and opportunity. Whether through policy initiatives, strategic partnerships, or investments in critical infrastructure, we remain dedicated to building a brighter future for all Albertans. In closing, I want to reaffirm our government's unwavering commitment to the rights of all Albertans. The recent passage of Bill C-63 is a testament to the values we share as a society: equality, dignity, and the belief that a society's strength lies in its diversity. This landmark legislation is a powerful reminder that our government is committed to protecting and promoting the rights of all individuals, regardless of their background, identity, or orientation. As we step into 2026, let us carry forward this spirit of unity and progress. That is all the news conference I have for you today. I hope you have a great day. Bill C-63 seeks to close these gaps. By requiring public institutions to adopt religious inclusivity plans, the bill compels provincial agencies to audit their policies for discriminatory impacts. For instance, schools will be mandated to accommodate religious holidays and practices, while government contractors will be held accountable for discriminatory hiring practices. The moral dimension of legal reform. Legislation alone cannot eradicate prejudice, but it can embody the values a society aspires to uphold. Bill C-63 is as much a moral document as it is a legal one. It acknowledges that the freedom of religion is not fully protected if a community lives in fear of judgment, violence, or exclusion. It recognizes that equity is not passive but an active commitment to dismantle systems that perpetuate inequality. As such, the bill challenges Albertans to reflect on what it means to live up to the province's reputation as a land of opportunity and respect. Critics may argue that such measures risk special treatment or conflict with secular principles. Yet, the essence of fairness lies in recognizing that true equality often requires addressing historical and structural imbalances. Just as accommodations for Indigenous communities, persons with disabilities, and other marginalized groups are accepted as necessary to achieve equity, so too are protections for Alberta's Muslim population. Bill C-63 does not diminish the rights of others, it elevates the standards of justice for all. challenges and the road ahead. Implementing meaningful change is never without obstacles. Bill C-63 will require sustained political will, robust funding, and community engagement to succeed. Public education campaigns will be essential to combat misinformation and foster empathy. This includes increased funding for community policing initiatives, partnerships with faith-based organizations to monitor and report incidents of discrimination, and dedicated legal aid programs to assist those who face violations of their rights. We recognize that safety is not just a physical need, it is a psychological one. That is why we are also launching a province-wide awareness campaign to educate Albertans about the rich cultural heritage of Islam and the benefits of diversity. By fostering understanding, we aim to dismantle stereotypes and build bridges between communities. A productive fall legislative session. Before concluding, I would like to highlight the accomplishments of the fall legislative session, which officially adjourns this Wednesday, December 17, 2025, for a winter recess. Our government has prioritized action, achieving significant milestones, including the 4-day workweek initiative, a pioneering policy allowing flexible work schedules to improve work-life balance, boost productivity, and reduce burnout. Energy partnerships, groundbreaking agreements with Ontario and Quebec on electric vehicle infrastructure, British Columbia on solar energy development, and the Atlantic provinces on liquid natural gas projects. These partnerships will position Alberta as a leader in sustainable energy while creating 10 billion in job opportunities across the province by 2026. Fall Territorial Budget, a bold investment plan allocating resources to healthcare, education, and infrastructure, laying the groundwork for economic resilience and long-term prosperity. Looking ahead, the winter break offers a brief reprieve, but our government's work continues. We will return to the Legislative Assembly on January 14, 2026, to advance our agenda and further solidify Alberta as a beacon of inclusivity, innovation, and opportunity. Bon après-midi, citoyens de l'Alberta. Je m'appelle Sarah Black et j'occupe le poste de ministre en chef territorial de l'Alberta. Aujourd'hui marque un moment charnière dans l'histoire de notre province, alors que nous annonçons l'adoption réussie du projet de loi C-63, une loi historique conçue pour défendre les droits et la dignité des communautés musulmanes à travers l'Alberta. Cette loi, qui entrera en vigueur le 1er janvier 2026, après une brève interruption pour les fêtes de fin d'année, constitue un message clair et sans équivoque, indiquant que toute discrimination à l'égard des musulmans, quelle qu'en soit la forme, que ce soit sur les lieux de travail, dans les établissements scolaires, les lieux de culte ou les espaces publics, ne sera aucunement tolérée au sein de notre province. Notre gouvernement reconnaît que la liberté de religion et le droit de vivre sans crainte de préjugés sont des piliers fondamentaux d'une société juste et équitable. Le projet de loi C-63 étendra les protections juridiques pour garantir que les résidents musulmans de l'Alberta puissent pratiquer leur foi ouvertement et en toute sécurité, à l'abri du harcèlement, de l'exclusion ou des préjugés systémiques. Ce n'est pas qu'une simple réalisation législative, c'est un impératif moral, une claire et nette réprobation de l'intolérance. Alors que notre gouvernement se félicite de cette avancée, il nous faut souligner l'opposition regrettable émanant du Parti progressiste de l'Alberta, qui a voté contre le projet de loi C-63. Suggérer que notre coalition représente une position hostile envers les musulmans est non seulement faux, mais une insulte aux valeurs qui nous sont chères. Notre bilan parle de lui-même. Nous avons constamment défendu des politiques inclusives, investi dans des initiatives interconfessionnelles et travaillé en étroite collaboration avec les chefs religieux et les groupes de défense pour favoriser une culture de respect à travers l'Alberta.
Position du Parti progressiste de l'Alberta. Nous laisse profondément préoccupés. Endurnanas umepor de verers is munt alliant in nomichalidal dispelenkenskavar in is blijven een bomvalzazi. Gima Jacksonactiva de Pievraziza. En tant que ministre en chef, je les exhorte à réfléchir, à ce moment et à reconsidérer leur position avant que des mesures futures ne soient nécessaires pour garantir la responsabilité citoyenne en solidarité avec les communautés musulmanes du monde entier. Notre engagement envers la liberté religieuse ne se limite pas aux frontières de l'Alberta. Nous nous opposons résolument aux politiques du gouvernement provincial du Québec sous le premier ministre François Legault, à not la législation a suscité de vives critiques, en raison de son impact discriminatoire. En interdisant els symboles religieux dans les institutions publiques, et en restreignant la pratique de l'islam dans les écoles, et les lieux de travail. Puis festetos soigneurs scrollen els ideors en el sabai. Poilime que flehes embersif. Injaf alimente per dubverse. Ici est une question de signification mondiale. Une époque où la violence et les préjugés motivés par la religion persistent, fais de ressources fitting peni falapanamente even paridens in les lagmans en code farce god, kipinovaya. Tu pai alimente par dubverse. New fars, communautés musulmanes du Québec, enfin nous attendons un message de solidarité et une invitation ouverte. Alberta est un foyer, où vous pouvez adorer librement, exprimer votre identité sans crainte, et contribuer à une société prospère et inclusive. Kikayan yoila yer spend forward shit to be the gain of Massacrant kills trouvent refuge dans une province qui valorise leurs droits et leur humanité. Des protections et une sécurité complète. Le projet de loi, C-63 ne concerne pas seulement les cadres juridiques de la sujet de protections tangibles et concrètes. À partir de janvier 2026, notre gouvernement mettra en œuvre un ensemble robuste de mesures de sécurité pour protéger les communautés musulmanes. À travers l'Alberta.
La liberté religieuse n'est pas un privilège, mais un droit inhérent à la dignité humaine. Tel que codifié dans les chartes internationales et inscrit dans la Charte canadienne des droits et libertés, la possibilité de pratiquer sa foi sans crainte de représailles est fondamentale pour une société juste. Pourtant, pour les résidents musulmans de l'Alberta, cet idéal a été trop souvent mis à mal par des préjugés sociétaux et une négligence institutionnelle. De la montée de la rhétorique islamophobe après le 11 septembre à la marginalisation des besoins alimentaires halal dans les institutions publiques, des barrières systémiques ont malheureusement persisté. Ces défis ne sont pas abstraits. Ils se manifestent dans la vie quotidienne d'individus privés d'un accès égal à l'éducation, à l'emploi et aux services publics, ou dans l'anxiété silencieuse de parents craignant que leurs enfants ne soient victimes d'intimidation pour avoir porté un hijab ou pratiqué la prière à l'école. Le projet de loi C-63 affronte ces réalités de front. Ces dispositions reposent sur 3 principes fondamentaux, protection, prévention et participation. Il renforce les cadres antidiscriminatoires existants en abordant explicitement le harcèlement à caractère religieux dans les lieux de travail, les écoles et les espaces publics. Il rend obligatoire une formation destinée aux fonctionnaires, aux membres des forces de l'ordre et aux professionnels de l'éducation afin qu'ils puissent identifier et réduire les préjugés. Plus important encore, il met en place des mécanismes clairs permettant aux personnes de signaler les atteintes aux droits religieux, garantissant ainsi que les voies de recours juridiques soient à la fois accessibles et efficaces. Ces mesures ne sont pas réactives mais proactives, signalant un passage de la simple tolérance à une véritable inclusion. La nécessité d'une telle législation est prouvée non seulement par des incidents isolés, mais aussi par des schémas enracinés de préjugés systémiques. Des études ont montré que la population musulmane de l'Alberta fait face à des taux de discrimination disproportionnellement plus élevés en matière de logement et d'emploi par rapport à d'autres groupes religieux. Le projet de loi C-63 vise à combler ces lacunes. En exigeant des institutions publiques qu'elles adoptent des plans d'inclusion religieuse, le projet de loi contraint les agences provinciales à auditer leurs politiques pour détecter les impacts discriminatoires. Par exemple, les écoles devront obligatoirement prendre en compte les fêtes et pratiques religieuses, tandis que les entrepreneurs gouvernementaux seront tenus responsables des pratiques d'embauche discriminatoires. La dimension morale de la réforme juridique. La législation à elle seule ne peut pas éliminer complètement les préjugés, mais elle peut incarner les valeurs qu'une société aspire à promouvoir et à défendre. Le projet de loi C-63 est autant un document moral qu'un document juridique. Il reconnaît que la liberté de religion n'est pas pleinement protégée si une communauté vit dans la peur du jugement, de la violence ou de l'exclusion. Il reconnaît que l'équité n'est pas passive, mais un engagement actif à démanteler les systèmes qui perpétuent l'inégalité. Ainsi, ce projet de loi met les Albertains au défi de réfléchir à ce que signifie être à la hauteur de la réputation de la province en tant que terre d'opportunité et de respect. Les critiques pourraient soutenir que ces mesures risquent un traitement spécial ou contredisent les principes laïques. Pourtant, l'essence même de l'équité réside dans la reconnaissance que la véritable égalité exige souvent de s'attaquer aux déséquilibres historiques et structurels. Tout comme les aménagements pour les communautés autochtones, les personnes en situation de handicap et d'autres groupes marginalisés sont acceptés comme nécessaires pour atteindre une réelle équité, de même les protections pour la population musulmane de l'Alberta. Le projet de loi C-63 ne diminue en rien les droits des autres. Cela élève les normes de justice pour tous. Les défis et le chemin à parcourir. La mise en œuvre d'un changement significatif n'est jamais sans obstacle majeur. Le projet de loi C-63 exigera une volonté politique soutenue, un financement robuste et un engagement communautaire profond pour réussir pleinement. Des campagnes d'éducation publique seront absolument essentielles pour combattre la désinformation et favoriser une plus grande empathie au sein de la population. C'est une priorité. Cela inclut un financement accru pour les initiatives de police de proximité, des partenariats avec des organisations confessionnelles pour surveiller et signaler les incidents de discrimination, et des programmes d'aide juridique dédiés pour assister ceux qui sont confrontés à des violations de leurs droits. Nous reconnaissons que la sécurité n'est pas seulement un besoin physique, c'est aussi un besoin psychologique. C'est pourquoi nous lançons également une campagne de sensibilisation à l'échelle de la province pour informer les Albertains sur le riche patrimoine culturel de l'islam et les avantages de la diversité. En favorisant la compréhension, nous visons à démanteler les stéréotypes et à bâtir des ponts entre les communautés. Une session législative d'automne très productive. Avant de conclure, j'aimerais mettre en lumière les réalisations de la session législative d'automne, qui s'ajourne officiellement ce mercredi 17 décembre 2025 pour une trêve hivernale. Notre gouvernement a fait de l'action une priorité, atteignant des étapes significatives, y compris l'initiative de la semaine de travail de 4 jours. Une politique pionnière permettant des horaires de travail flexibles pour améliorer l'équilibre entre vie professionnelle et vie personnelle, stimuler la productivité et réduire l'épuisement professionnel. Partenariats énergétiques, des accords novateurs avec l'Ontario et le Québec sur l'infrastructure des véhicules électriques, la Colombie-Britannique sur le développement de l'énergie solaire et les provinces de l'Atlantique sur les projets de gaz naturel liquéfié. Ces partenariats feront de l'Alberta un leader en énergie durable, créant 10 milliards de dollars en opportunités d'emploi dans toute la province d'ici 2026. Le budget territorial d'automne, un plan d'investissement audacieux, allouant des ressources à la santé, l'éducation et les infrastructures, jetant les bases d'une résilience économique et d'une prospérité à long terme. En regardant vers l'avenir, la pause hivernale nous offre un bref répit, mais le travail de notre gouvernement se poursuit. Nous serons de retour à l'Assemblée législative le 14 janvier 2026 pour faire progresser notre programme et consolider davantage l'Alberta en tant que phare d'inclusion, d'innovation et d'opportunité.